Terror attacks in Western Europe have seen a huge surge over the past 2 years. Since 2015, there have been 53 attacks, way up from just 2 in 2014. Horrific tragedies in France, Britain, and Belgium come to mind. But one country to date has been largely spared. Our Scott Thuman traveled to Italy and found some remarkable reasons why.
Rome, one of the oldest cities in Europe, called the Eternal City, and has survived the rise and fall of empires. But in this current global war on terror, it has remained unscathed. So why so safe so far? How much of it would you say is good work and intelligence, and how much of it is good luck?
You know, in life you always need luck, so it's an inevitable combination, actually.
Giampero Massolo was Italy's director of intelligence from 2012 to 2016. He says the way current terrorist organizations operate is similar in some respects to another group they've been fighting for decades, the mafia, and that experience is paying off. Italy monitors suspects closely, has constant and open communication with police at the local level, and a key tool, wire and phone taps, can be approved at lightning speed.
All the process is fairly quick, and this is something that we learned exactly from terrorism and domestic terrorism and from mafia. We developed this kind of things.
And without some of the strictures of other European nations, like Germany or Belgium, highly sensitive to people's privacy and often reluctant to surveil or tap citizens. After they find potential targets or threats, the Italians employ another fast tactic: deportation.
We conduct a very severe policy of expulsions. That is, we kick off people from this country in a very early stage. We don't wait, better sooner than late.
And when you decide to deport someone, to kick them out, you can do it pretty quickly, can't you?
Yeah.
Italy, and specifically the Vatican, has long been under threat, and ISIS has made no secret of its desire to hit the country. In fact, just last year, the terror group renamed its online magazine Rumia. Translation? Rome. The police and military presence in Rome seems overwhelming. From the Colosseum to the Trevi Fountain, tourists are blatantly reminded of the threat, and would-be attackers reminded of the forces they would face between serious-minded soldiers and a serious array of security cameras. And ironically, there is another mafia factor at play. Nicola Pede of the Institute for Global Studies says that is protecting the country.
Italy has a very strict regulation with respect to firearms. And so if you don't have a legal capacity to buy and to hold the firearms, the only chance is to resort to the organized criminality.
So if a jihadist or a sympathizer, someone radicalized, wanted to get their hands on weapons illegally, they might have to go to organized crime families or the mafia to get them, and that family may say no.
Yes, 90% they will have to refer to them.
The Muslim community as a whole also has a peculiar position in Italy. Despite more than 1 million followers living here, Islam is not recognized as an official religion, which makes opening schools or community centers more difficult. The minaret at the Grand Mosque is the only symbol of Muslim faith you'll see in the Roman skyline. But one leader says that's all the more reason for Muslims to be peaceful, with hopes of winning over government skeptics. So to be a good Muslim, you said you also have to be a good Italian.
Yes, according to the Quran.
Imam Salah Ramadan El-Sayed says efforts to maintain a peaceful reputation for Muslims in Italy is critical work, and sometimes that work takes him behind bars, where radicalization can occur.
It's very important to the imam to visit prisoners, to reach them. You are eating here and you are drinking the water of Italy, so you must be loyal to Italy.
So you're saying that by going to prisons,
yeah,
by speaking to people and teaching them to love not only Islam but also to love Italy, it
to be integrated.
Radicalization, it prevents attacks?
Yes, it helps very much.
The lack of attacks against Italy may also be partially due to its reduced combat role in the anti-Islamic State coalition, and maybe by avoiding the accusations and labels that might make them a target. Are you saying Italy doesn't make as many enemies?
If you look, for example, of the case of Italy with respect to groups like Hezbollah. Hezbollah is not recognized as a terrorist entity in Italy, or the Muslim Brotherhood. So our position is quite different from most of the others.
Are you surprised that you've been so successful so far?
You know, we live day by day, and so we are sober enough to think that sooner or later, but until now it didn't happen.
But it's not as though Italy hasn't been targeted, right?
Right. Giampero Massolo, the former head of intelligence, tells me that not only would Italians be very surprised if they had any clue how many plots have been foiled, but also quite proud of what intelligence agencies have done, but of course never made public.
Interesting. Great piece, Scott. Thank you.